think we need to think about what we need to achieve good collection. And the word I've heard this weekend so many times is well raised. And we need to think that, is this actually good? Does this lead us in the right direction? I don't think so. So we don't want the horse to be well. We need to think about what we can do to achieve this. And one thing that I have found out that I often try to aim for in training and in collection, or with my pupils and myself, is that in Tölt we should have a training where the horse increases its movements by lowering the neck. If we can see that, then I think the training is functioning. We should not bring the front up by lifting the neck, because then we saw yesterday what we achieved. We achieved this movement. We want this movement. I think this, if we have, and this is really important, and this changes to very much how the feeling when you ride. This is why I need to think all the time when I'm training, because I want to do this. I've done it so many fucking times. And I think this is really important, because we can achieve, this is the false lightness that we used. I always joke and say this is the 90s shape. You see this horse that goes here, and it's light in the mouth. We can do like this, one sort of half vault, and let the rein hang. But this is fake. It's only fake. It's not lightness. It's a horse that doesn't go into the rider's hand. We need that to achieve true lightness. I think this is really, and this changes very. I think these things. I mean, I've done all the possible mistakes, and I try now to teach myself to ride better Tölt, which means that I for some years now have had much poorer results in competition, because when you try to change your riding, you lower your results, because you're safe in a way. You can ride. This is the difference between being pragmatic and trying to work with something, I think. And this is really, and I don't think I'm not the only one who suffers, so to speak, in this process. A little bit slack reins and not trying to achieve full energy, so to speak, is often overrated. Instead of trying to go further, because when you try to ride with contact, you take a much bigger risk, because if you crash with that contact, you of course get much poorer result. But we need to encourage this risk taking, because this is what brings the riding and the training forward, I think. And one other thing, before I try to be a little bit more detailed, is one question I would like to pose, is that if we saw some horses that were going Tölt in a way, I think more horses that were going Tölt in a way that is much better, much more round, much more long, much more soft, is that why don't those horses that we think of as specialists in Tölt do that? Why don't we see the technically best Tölt horses in T1? We see them in 5 gate, I think. I think the mostly good Tölt, I think we saw in the World Championship, we saw in 5 gate. Yeah, actually, I think so. And maybe this is why we can wonder. This is my view. It's not the truth. I don't have any truth. We had to throw the truth yesterday. But in my point of view, and this is and one question I would like to put is that if it is maybe a result of the T1 final, that we ask the horses to go on a high performance for absolutely two long stretches. Yes. I mean, we have this dream of slow tempo looking like passage, with a lot of elevation and high, long and wide movements. And I mean, even if they can do it, I mean, even like with the Lusitano that goes very easily, maybe these collected exercises in slow, in Passage and Piaf, you don't do that for 250 meters and then stop and do it for maybe 500 meters. And I think this is something we need to think about, because if we want to have this kind of extremely high performance of the top quality horses, do we put reasonable demands on them? I think that why the T1 horses are often a little bit shorter and not so like this is that they are protecting themselves. Not because of rough riding or anything, but because of that demands are too long. We are asking them to perform at a high level and become too tired. I think this is just this is not the truth, but it's maybe something. I was just thinking about it on the World Championships. Why we saw the most technically correct colts with long necks and raised front and so on in 5 gate, and maybe also a couple of horses in T2.